Now we're going to kick it on over to our on-the-spot correspondents for their review.
Hi guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Laura. Welcome to On the Spot. Today we're going to be reviewing Children of Men. Here's the trailer.
I can't really remember when I last had any hope. And I certainly can't remember when anyone else did either. Because really, since women stopped being able to have babies, what's left to hope for?
The world was stunned today by the death of Diego Ricardo, the youngest person on the planet. The youngest person on Earth was 18 years, 4 months, 20 days, 16 hours, and 8 minutes old.
The ultimate mystery. Why are women infertile? Some say it's genetic experiments, pollution. Why do you think we can't make babies anymore?
Doesn't matter. It's all over in 50 years. It's too late.
Move along! Move along!
Hello, Theo. Have you been? I'm sorry about the theatrics. Police have been a pain lately.
I haven't seen you for nearly 20 years.
Need your help. Not for me, a girl. Need to get her to the coast, past security checkpoints. It's hard for me to look at you. He had your eyes.
So why did you come to me?
I trust you.
Show him.
Now you know what's at stake.
We have to meet the boat.
What is this boat?
The Human Project have sent a boat.
The Human Project?
Yes, the greatest minds in the world working for a new society.
Your baby is the miracle the whole world has been waiting for.
We will find a way to get you to the Human Project, I promise you.
We're almost there, Keith. We're almost there.
Okay, we're back. So now I've seen this movie before, Laura, a few years back, but this was your first time watching it, if I'm correct. So
Yes.
Can I hear, what were your first thoughts?
I was absolutely blown away by this movie. I actually heard about it while I was working on a set this summer where the cinematographer, I heard him talking about it as a great example because we were setting up a car rig. And ever since then, I've been meaning to watch it. And so when we were choosing a movie for this week, I was like, I need to see this finally.
Yep.
You know, and I was excited to see it. I love sci-fis, I love dystopians, but this, I will have to say, is probably one of the best sci-fi, one of the best dystopians I have ever seen. Just every single element of it, from the acting to the directing to the cinematography and just the story in general, was incredible to me.
Yep, I fully agree. This was, I had heard of it before, going into watching it, heard here and there a little bit about it and how good it was, but I didn't really know exactly what it was about or kind of what made it so good. But then, yeah, watching it through, that cinematography especially, want to talk about that, so good. The characters and there's the storyline, so it never loses you for a second, which I love so much about it. And I just stayed, and my second time watching, I was just as entertained the first time, which I loved.
Right, I feel like the second time watching it, there must be so much more you could pull, because they did an amazing job with the visual storytelling where they never wasted a single shot, whether it's the posters in the background or just the background actors doing so much to enhance the story. I felt like every single frame had so much information in it and nothing was wasted at all. But obviously about the cinematography, tell me your favorite scene, because I have a feeling we'll have the same one.
I think it's a lot of people's favorite scene is that just the car rig where they're going through the hills and it's, they pull it, because that is all one shot and it's all practical. It's not like they digitally stitched together a few different takes. It's just, that's one shot right there. And it's just, everything has to be perfect for that. Like you said, background actors have to be perfect. the cast has to get all their lines down, the camera movements have to be perfect, and it was. Like, they got it down in that one shot, and I think it's so entertaining and so, like, it pulls you, that's the moment where I really got pulled right into the story. There's a big character death there, and it's kind of like an oh crap moment, and it really, like, all comes together in that one shot. And they do that a lot throughout, like, the movie, like, kind of just, like, one shots where they stay on the characters and don't cut, and just let you sit with the action and kind of, like, watch it play through in one full shot, which I really like.
Yes, exactly. I feel like that element of real time, especially in that ambush scene, when it goes from this moment of pure joy and happiness right before the ambush to this fear and then this just utter despair, I think it really allows the actors to shine and really allows the crew to show off the technical skills. Because if I remember correctly, they built an entire functioning rig on the top of the car that allowed the camera to move around and the actors to slip in and out based on their seats. And so to be able to watch that with the appreciation of everything that went into making that scene happen, it blew me away.
I agree fully, and yeah, like you said, like the characters being able to move in and out, and just like their performances are huge in that. So I guess that kind of is like a little bit of a segue. Like, were there any characters that stuck out to you personally as like a favorite or like a most interesting character to watch?
Well, obviously I love Michael Caine's character.
Yeah, I was gonna say yes, I agree.
The comic relief, honestly, I found him so compelling, and he's the kind of character, I love the characters that keep laughing in the times of just utter despair. I heard one thing that said the best acting isn't feeling emotion, it's resisting emotion. And I think his character really does that, where you can see him coping with his traumatic life just through humor. And there's so much more to his character, but he's still constantly lightening the mood. And meanwhile, Key, to just see her go through her pregnancy and her feelings about her pregnancy, and the actor, she did incredible in portraying a young mother. And so I loved watching her journey as well.
Yeah, I agree. Those two characters were great for me. And just Theo, the leading man, was like a great character. His journey is really interesting to me, kind of like that, cynical bureaucrat at the beginning with not much, like really no hope at all left in life. And then he's thrown into this journey, and by the end, he's like has his like faith pretty much fully restored in humanity, and like there's a lot of hope going forward for like what we can do, and like, it's been a long journey for him and for humanity as a whole, and it's kind of nice to see him mirror that on like a more personal level.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And so we talk about this lack of faith in humanity and the crisis they're living in. I thought it was really interesting to watch it this year with a pandemic going on, seeing how the world responds to a crisis that impacts the entire world. And I thought it was really interesting the way the themes of immigration and Zionism and all of these things really played out in this story. So I'd love to hear how you felt about those themes.
Yeah, they were huge. They were like really big, like a big part of the enjoyment of the movie for me. And it was really interesting kind of on the second watch through for a movie made in like 2006, how topical it still feels with all of like those prevalent issues like immigration, like you mentioned. So I thought those were really they really added to the story. I mean, I love movies that deal with big themes like that, like hope and, humanity and redemption were big arcs. And that redemption particularly is a big one for me because I love that kind of that's a big shift in characters, especially Theo there. So I really enjoyed those themes, and it was cool to see kind of how they're still very prevalent today. They still reflect a lot of what's going on in humanity in 2021. So for me, they were a huge part of my overall enjoyment of the movie. What about you?
Yes, I feel those themes really tied it all together. From the name of the boat being tomorrow, for them waiting for tomorrow and searching for tomorrow, to that one scene that really stuck out to me as well was as they're walking the baby out of the building that they're firing upon, all the soldiers, when they see the baby, they stop and they just stare at it, and you can see this hope and this moment of connection. And then the second the baby's out of frame, they start fighting again. And I think that just really speaks to just this way we lose sight of our future and the things that bring us together. And so honestly, I got goosebumps, I cried, I really had an emotional journey watching this movie. And I think it does sci-fi in the best possible way, where it is truly just based in humanity and what can go wrong if we continue down the paths that we're currently on.
Yep. Well, it sounds like we both really love the film. So I guess if we had to put a number to it, what would be your rating of Children of Men?
I tried to be critical, although there were a few moments that I was like, oh, they probably wouldn't have survived that super easily. I was able to breeze past that, so I have to give this one a 10 out of 10. I just
10 out of
loved it
10,
so much.
very nice.
That's rare for me.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, I was gonna say like 9 out of 10, especially like on my first watch through, like it was great, and like I loved it a lot, probably like 7 or 8. But on the second watch through, you even like you see all those little things that you missed the first time, makes it that much better. So I'll go 9 out of 10. That's pretty good ratings from us, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, well that's gonna be it from us. Now back to you guys in the studio.
That's all for this week. If you want to follow more Review Crew content, go to the Review Crew Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, as well as Orange TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and YouTube.
Find the Review Q's podcast on Spotify or on our website at orangetvnetwork.syr.edu, where you can also find our blog and more OTN information.
Check out this week's screening, hosted by University Union, Jungle Cruise.
Also be sure to check out Friday Night Movie Night on OTN. This week's movies are Charade, Steamboat Bill Jr., and Superman 01.
See you next week.